Hi everybody, just to continue part of this interview. So I'm just going to get Susan to run through some of the differences on what's effectively a stock vehicle, but it's been modified for the Rebelle Rally. So Susan, if you want to just go through some of the things on the vehicle, starting at the front, what are, I mean, there's some fairly obvious things, but go on, talk us through it.
Sounds great, thanks Tim. So again, I'm Susan Piper and I'm the 2024 and 2025 Rebelle Rally driver for Team Warner Ineos Grenadier. And this vehicle was a stock Trial Master Grenadier 2024 with some modifications. So the first thing you can see is that we have a sticker for Invictus, and we did a 1.5-inch lift, and we did the Invictus in the 4x4 Project suspension, which is an aftermarket upgrade. And that gave us an ability to move this vehicle swiftly across whoops and across washboard type terrain, because the suspension basically has been tuned for that type of movement and travel at high speeds. The next thing is, as we move back along the vehicle, you can see that we have running boards that are manufactured by one of our other partners, which is Tech from Germany. And
Susan, just to interject there, just for the purposes we know what we're looking at, but these are the stock wheels and tires that you'd find on a regular Grenadier, the alloy in this instance, but we have actually changed the wheels. So if you look back to the other part of the interview, you can see it's got different wheels and tires, but we've changed those just for.
That's right, Tim. We run true bead locks in the Rally, and they are manufactured by Braid, and that enables us to air down without basically to a very low tire pressure.
And just out of interest, what tire pressure were you going down to?
So we don't actually go, interestingly, we don't go that low. A lot of people might be thinking, that's a great question. We normally run the vehicle at about 35 PSI off-road, and in sand we'll start at 22, we'll take it to 20 and then down to 18.
Depending on the type of sand, right?
Yeah, like super soft sand.
Yeah.
And if it's extremely soft, I might air down even from 16 to 14. But probably starting at 22.
But with bead locks, you're within your
We're not going to, and I'm very careful to not turn too quickly, which would cause a rolling of the bead. So as I move along the vehicle, this was a stock Trial Master, as I said, and a Trial Master basically is, all the Grenadiers are built for more, but a Trial Master is sort of a package that enables you to get the center locker, the rear locker, the front locker, and the raised air intake, which actually has been removed from this vehicle. So anyway, moving on back. So
did you have the raised air intake?
We did not.
Oh, in all that dust? That's
we
surprising,
did not.
right?
Yeah, that is interesting, because as you can see, we took it off. We have an aftermarket light bar by Tech. And again, the same manufacturer of the aftermarket running boards. And what's nice about these running boards is that they have these steel reinforced jack points. So when we needed to change a tire, we would use those jack points to lift the vehicle. And let's see. We obviously also partner with BF Goodrich.
So what I was going to ask you is, talk us through the Terra Trip, because the interior is pretty standard, right? But the Terra Trip, what does that allow you to?
Well, the interior is not super standard, because we did what's called a rear seat delete. So when you get in the rear, it's not going to look, this is a trophy truck. It was a passenger vehicle, 5-passenger vehicle that could be great on highway off-road, but now it's really modified. We run a rally computer.
So that's really what you're using because time is of the essence.
Well, actually, this isn't a timer. This is a timer, but the Rally computer gives our very precise tenths and hundredths of a kilometer.
Oh, wow.
So we know exactly, because obviously if you know your heading and you know your distance, you know where you are on a map. So distance, and then heading is largely from us taking compass headings to be able to determine exactly where the vehicle is. And the other thing about the vehicle, so I'd say nothing else super modified here, except that up in the control panel, we have run the front lights, the in bumper front lights, and some special Baja rear lights, which are all off of those fuses. And we have a compressor in the front of the vehicle in the engine compartment, and we also have a compressor in the rear. So we run 2 compressors so that we can air all 4 tires at the same time, or
and that's run through the standard pre-wired buttons, right?
Yeah, those are all standard pre-wired.
And seats, they're just the standard Recaros. I say standard,
they're not standard, they're race seats, which is amazing.
Yeah, well,
then you get
Recaro
in, when you buy a Grenadier, you get Recaro race seats.
So move us around to the back then, because we were talking cross purposes there with the rear.
Yeah.
We'll just let him come around. So coming into the back, obviously there's a lack of seats.
That's right.
So these particular ones are Goose Gear, is that right?
That's right, and Goose Gear is one of our partner friends, and they've manufactured this platform so that we can mount a 5th, well, let's see, this is our actually 6th tire. So we obviously run 4 tires, we carry a rear on the back of the spare tire carrier, and then we carry another tire inside, because you can't complete a rally that you can't drive, so you have to be able to have tires. And these compartments are for the battery. So we have an auxiliary battery, which is stock in the vehicle. And then on the side that is behind the driver, this is simply for spares and for storage. And then we are also partnered with Pro Eagle, and we carry one of their Pro Eagle race
so we can see that easier.
Sure.
So yeah, we're definitely utilising all of the space, and of course the great thing about these things is they're square, that it's full of right angles, so you can get all your gear in.
Yeah, and we love these Molly panels that we use on the rear quarter panel windows. So, you know, this is basically, like, obviously we go through a ton of silt beds and sand, so we always have to be able to keep the windshield clean. And we have some extra tools and other spares. There's an engine spill kit that's in front that you don't obviously access very, very frequently, but this is truly where we keep our recovery gear. Camping gear is usually further forward, and in the back, most often used are these in-deflate. We have 2 of these that we just grab as a kit, and each one is set up for airing up or airing down, and this is probably what we use the most, because we're just airing up and down
and it's
a
quick
lot.
to do that, right?
Super quick to do that.
So each one of those does two tires at a time, right?
Yeah. And as small as this table is a really important addition to our team, because, you know,
You like to make tea.
I like to make tea. I do like to make tea. And I also like to be able to, you know, quickly get a snack or whatever, and so this is what we use if when we're camping.
And if anybody watching this thinks that drinking tea in the desert is somewhat bougie,
it is.
It is.
It is.
It is.
Just so you know.
It is. Yeah.
It is.
So talk us through because there's a little bit missing on here, but talk us through the back door there.
Yeah, so this tire carrier is not stock. This is a Latec, I'm sorry, not tire carrier. This ladder is a aftermarket ladder made by Latec that allows you to put a fuel can or a water can, and we just took it out because we are sort of changing up things in our build right now. And let's see, what else do we have? We have, we talked about the Goose Gear on the inside. We talked about the 4x4 Project.
What we didn't look, let's have a look at the front, because did you use the winch at all? Did you use the winch?
We did not use the winch. We do have it. And it would be useful more than not if we needed to help another competitor. A little bit harder for self-rescue because we don't carry a pull pal, but there aren't that many situations that we can't kind of get out of, so
Which
we
is
don't
just
need
as well,
it.
because there's not that many trees, right?
Yeah, there's not that many trees. You don't need a tree strap. You don't really need a pull pal.
Okay, and just to finish up, the coolest thing that I've seen on this particular Grenadier is on the steering wheel. Tell us about your little sloth on the steering wheel. What's that about? Did that help you
it does.
compete?
It does. It helps me compete a lot because I have to keep 2 things in mind. I have to keep in mind that we need to both relax. Because I can tell you that it is a lot harder to navigate and drive for 12 hours a day, 8 days in a row, if you're stressed out. And Elise really picks up on that energy as a navigator and feels so much pressure because she's the one determining where the vehicle basically is going to go and what our course is and our strategy. And so you can really feel when someone drives if they are gripping death gripping the steering wheel. So I really do try to not death grip the steering wheel. I hold it at 9 and 3. You know, I relax my foot. I've got my right foot on the gas. I got my left foot on the brake. I'm constantly up and down, working the throttle and the brake all the time and feathering it. And I am relaxing and trying to keep the vehicle moving as smoothly and as quickly as possible so that she could not be shaken and stirred. I like to joke that it's driving Miss Daisy, because the more that I can do that, the easier her job is.
Driving Miss Daisy. You're dating yourself by saying driving Miss Daisy.
I know. But we've been laughing about that. I also have normally a sticker that says "Don't overthink things," and it's true. You can't. You just gotta just.
You can't chew the small stuff, right?
Yeah, you can't. You gotta let it go, because this thing is it's a beast of a rally. It's a beast of a vehicle, and you know, just being able to respect that the process is let it work. Let it work its magic. It's two ladies. Don't overthink it. Help your partner relax. Breathe, and you'll do just fine.
Thank you.
It's really cute.
Well, thank you for spending time with us with the vehicle, and thanks for answering lots of questions.
Yeah.
If anybody's got any comments on the vehicle or what Susan's been doing or the Rebelle Rally, please put them in the comments and let us know, and we'll speak to you on the next one.
Sounds great. Thank you, Tim.